Well, it's now being reported by the corporate media that John Brennan, the former head of the CIA, and James Comey, the former head of the FBI, are officially under criminal investigation by the FBI and the DOJ. Now, it's open and shut that Comey lied to Congress. It's open and shut they launched Crossfire Hurricane under Obama's orders illegally with the CIA. The documents are all public. I reported on it 8+ years ago, but last week the CIA has released them. The Senate's released its report. The CIA worked with the Communist Chinese, the Venezuelans, to steal the election with fake mail-in ballots in 2020. I mean, it's all incredible. So I hope this story breaking today isn't just a cover story or diversion from the giant fiasco with the FBI and DOJ doing a 180 on Epstein. Oh, he did kill himself, and there was no Johns, and was no blackmail, and was no human trafficking, even though his partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in prison convicted of it, of human trafficking.
And this is why, I mean, his analysis is always, I mean, he's kind of a savant. And so much information, right? And just it's able to regurgitate it. It's crazy if you've ever listened to Jones. I mean, it's, I don't know if this video would even be allowed on YouTube or whatever, but we'll see. But his analysis is amazing. Like, he just has a way of processing these things, and that's kind of exactly where I went to when I first heard the story of Brendan James. I mean, listen, you're going after former heads of the FBI. You better have it, right? You can't do this willy-nilly, because then that shit gets turned around on you after you leave, right? So you better have it. However, the fact that they just released all this stuff on Epstein, this like he said, this 180 doesn't make any sense. And then Trump comes out in the office, and they were questioning Pam Bondi. It was like a round table, and then Trump goes to the reporter. He's like, "Are you really still talking about Epstein? Like, do you really this is still a thing? Like, why are we even talking about this?" Meanwhile, the day before, they just released and said, "Yeah, we did it. We looked at everything, and there's nothing there." I don't know if he's just not reading his base. I don't know if he's just really trying to get past the story and just trying to move on. But it's very suspicious. It doesn't look good. It's not a good look at all. And let's see what else Alex has to say.
So this is a big deal. And Trump has to know that it goes right back to Comey and Brennan and what we saw on July 13th last year and the rest of it. So, and he's got that fake conviction in New York hanging over his head. He's got to get to the deep state. They're going to get him. And they're gunning for America. So it's the right thing to do. It's not vengeance. It's justice. But if you look at Netanyahu in Israel, it's always been heavily involved in blackmail and connected to Epstein, heavily with Mossad, as well as MI6 CIA. You see, as the globalist deep state kind of collapses, the Israeli deep state is coming in even stronger. And it's put a lot of leverage on Trump. I think it's pretty clear that they're blackmailing with something. I've never seen evidence Trump was involved in any of the underage girls with Epstein. But if it's a bunch of big government officials and the corporate chiefs, as has been reported, that could be so embarrassing for the country, Trump thinks it's going to plunge the stock market. So just from his perspective, that could be enough to make him kind of bend to Netanyahu's will. I'm speculating there, but we're just seeing total 180 and past things they said and did.
That makes a lot of sense, though. Like, if you think about it, I mentioned in my last video that the downfall, and this is why, after stepping back and thinking about it, I kind of understood why this can almost never come out. Just because the downfall, is it worth it? Now, should these people still be prosecuted? Yes. Right? But here's the thing, how is that going to work? All these deals were made, there may be countries hinging upon, what's in these tapes, what's in these files. And I understand that, there were people that were wronged and there were people that had horrible things happen to them. But that's the thing. So there's got to be a separation, right? So the separation, the line that I would delineate would be where there anyone underage. If there was anyone underage, that should be released. Those people should go, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what was happening. However, seems to me that a lot of the girls there, some of them, many of them, at least the photos that I've seen, done a little bit of digging, were of age. So if it's just a prostitution thing, and these guys are going to be embarrassed and stuff like that, I really don't care so much about that, right? Because if it was two consenting adults, then what's there to care about? That is just a blackmail aspect of it. I don't care so much about that. I don't care so much that, some guy was doing something nefarious or, whatever, and we shouldn't blow up the world over that, is what I'm saying. Is it a good thing? Absolutely not. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that we should be able to draw a line in the sand and say, underage, really young girls, all right, those people have to go, release the files, or at the very least prosecute them. Say, we can't release the files, but we're going to prosecute them, especially if they're local. If they're overseas and stuff like that, like, what do we do with things like that? I say that anyone that's in the United States, again, these are really tough things. Like, I'm spitballing here, just thinking this through, and yes, you don't want to, just because the stock market could crash, you don't want to not prosecute people that are that are doing things like that. However, everything has to be thought about. And it seems like they've come to the conclusion where they're just not going to put it out, where it's just not worth it. However, the bad thing is they're saying that it doesn't exist. So, I mean, I guess that's the road that they kind of have to take, because if they just don't release it, then people are going to get pissed. But I don't know. This was a huge misstep
and a PR disaster. So I hope this on the same day or day 2 of this big firestorm of the Epstein cover-up, I hope this isn't just some red meat to the Trump supporters that finally the deep state's in trouble, because it's an existential threat to President Trump and America. He knows this has got to happen. And I've wanted to have confidence in Bongino and Patel and all the rest of them. I mean, for 160-something days, I held back criticizing him, saying, give him time. We continue to see stuff like this. So at this point, I'm very concerned. And I hate seeing the corporate media take out of context things I've said on Trump and say, I've turned on Trump and it's all bad and I'm done with him. No. I'm just extremely concerned. I mean, if for national security issues and the CIA was involved in this stuff as well, they were just going to deep six it for the betterment of the country, which I don't agree with. It's so damning. It could hurt confidence in the nation itself. I know that argument. Then you just shut up.
Exactly.
You don't have 3 months ago or 2 months ago Bongino and Patel doing this tour about, oh no, Butler shooter acted alone, and oh no, Epstein killed himself, and oh no, there's nothing going on here, and then do this again, even bigger. This is a freaking disaster. So if the Trump admin's mad at me for complaining about this, or if Trump is, I don't care, because I want the good agenda of saving the country and having world peace and securing the border and stopping all the crime explosion. I mean, we're under attack by this.
Guys, if you can like the video, share, subscribe, it really helps me out a lot, especially subscribing to the channel. Lets you know when I come out with another video. If you drop down in the comments, I will comment, and we'll respond to any comment that you make.
I want to support Trump's agenda than overall support. And behavior like this is what undermines confidence that the base has. And the Trump administration right now is its own worst enemy. So I will not apologize for being absolutely disgusted. And again, we're not leftist here. We created the populist movement for Trump. He's done a lot of great stuff, has a lot of courage, but we're the wave he rode in on. And there's populist movements all over the world, so we don't rise and fall with Trump. We need him. It's a historic thing that's happening. But that said, I'm not breaking my integrity or my morals or what I stand for nobody. Like Tony Montana says, you only got 2 things in this world, your word and your balls, and I ain't breaking either for nobody. He also says, no women, no kids. That's where I stand. All's fair in love and war except messing with women and kids, and I won't be part of it. That means covering up another group that did it for political power. That makes us accessories after the fact, and I ain't doing it. I'd rather die first. Follow me on the next Real Show, infowars.com/show. Thank you all.
It's a great point. It's a great point, great analysis, just like always. He's one of the best. He really is. I mean, take it for what it's worth. If you're going to do that much analysis every single day, the amount of content that guy puts out is just unreal. The amount of time he spends in front of a camera talking. I'm trying little by little to get better, to get more fluid. But he's an absolute beast in the space.
Are you going to make mistakes? 100%. There's no way you could put out the hours and hours of content that he does daily. Daily. You know, he's not.
A couple of 12-minute videos. You know, the guy's putting on hours of content every single day, grinding it out. And
There's sometimes where he's going to be wrong. In this particular case, I don't think he is. Guys, thanks a lot for coming out. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. If you comment, we will talk back and forth. If you could follow me on X, 6283 Talk on X. Thanks a lot for coming out. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks, later.